Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tier Sports. I'm Victor.
I'm Brett.
So this week it's NFL Thursday today. We got a special episode for you. We're gonna do all our normal stuff plus have a who should be MVP talk. As of now, there's 6 weeks left in the season. So 6 games for each team because this is the last week of byes. So from here on out, it's right down the stretch. Teams are looking to make playoffs. Some will probably be knocked out of those positions, and ultimately we want to know who is the MVP of the league, who is going to possibly carry their team to one of those spots. So we're going to do it a little different. We're going to start with our week picks and just go from there. This way we have all the rest of the time for the MVP talk. So not too much else has happened in the league, aside from Matt Stafford is still out. We had a very solid week in picks last week, only missed 3, including that Detroit one. I actually ended up switching that later once I realized Matt Stafford is still out. That's on me. However, I did count as a loss here because I put Detroit at the time. So, with that, into week 12 picks, not updated, but Thursday night game, Indy at Houston. I'm taking Houston because they're home in this. I really hope the Colts win. I'm going to give it to Houston for the sole reason of T.Y. Hilton isn't playing, and T.Y. is the one who owns Houston out of the Indianapolis team.
Yeah, I'll take the Colts.
Okay.
Moving on, Tampa at Atlanta. You have the Falcons.
I have the Falcons.
I have the Bucks.
Okay. Denver at Buffalo. I have Buffalo.
I also have Buffalo.
I was skeptical on that, so Giants at Bears.
I have the Giants in this one also.
I'll take the Bears at home. Steelers at Bengals.
Yep.
Steelers.
Not much needs to be said.
Okay. Miami at Cleveland.
Yep. Not much needs to be said.
Lock pick of the week.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Mix it up a little bit.
I like that. I like that.
Detroit at Washington. Even with Stafford out, I'm going to take Detroit here.
Yep.
Oakland at the Jets.
The Raiders.
Yeah. Best
Panthers at Saints is my game to watch this week. But I agree with the Saints.
Okay. Seahawks at Eagles.
Another game to watch this week.
Yes, my easily game to watch of the week. I have the Eagles coming away in the upset this week. I think a lot of people had hopes, especially Eagles fans, for last week. This is the week they get done at home. Very good home team.
I have the Seahawks.
Okay. Jags at Titans. I'm going to take the Jags.
I agree.
Dallas at New England. Give it to the Pats.
I agree. This is my lock pick of the week.
Okay.
If I have to give one.
Green Bay at San Fran. I'm taking San Fran at home in the night game.
I'll take the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, prime time. Not going to go against them. Although both of these teams, heavily overrated. Heavily overrated. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll disagree.
And Monday night, Ravens at Rams.
I'll take the Ravens.
I agree. All right.
So,
that was fast. That was efficient.
So, with that, on to the MVP talk for the NFL. So, as of now, there's roughly 8 people in consideration when you go to sites that display the current odds or the NFL in particular or just names that are being thrown around commonly. So, those names in no particular order here. Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson.
You're doing great.
Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, and there's a big
There's
one.
one more.
I'm missing.
There's one more.
Now,
who is it?
oh my gosh, it's going to bother me now.
Dalvin Cook.
In my mind, the 8th person
Dalvin Cook.
who should still be considered
Gardner Minshew.
is actually Patrick Mahomes, and I will get into why. However, he is going to be the 8th for this debate. And the top 7 are referred to as the league as people in consideration. Primarily, Mahomes is your top cheddar football analyst saying, here's why he should be ahead of at least some of those people. So, we're going to go through and give our top 3 from 3 up till the best or the prime candidate in our minds for who should win this award. Very quick, because I doubt he's in your top 3, and he doesn't reach my top 3. Patrick Mahomes is only roughly 350 to 400 passing yards away from the title right now for who was in control for the year, who has the most passing yards as a QB, and he missed 2 full games and 3/4 of the game that he got hurt in. Granted, he hasn't had his bye yet, but that is in my mind why he is up there. He still has a very, very solid TD to interception ratio, and clearly the Chiefs struggle more without him. That being said, because he missed those games, he's not going to quite be in my top 3. Do you want to start with your number 3, or should I start with mine?
Well, quick question. Is this who we think will win or who we think should win?
This is in our minds who we think should win.
Okay. You can start.
Okay. My number 3 is Russell Wilson. The man has been on fire this year. He started out through it, honestly, the first 8 weeks for me as the front runner. Lately, it was especially in that San Fran-Seattle game. Even though Seattle won, I didn't quite see him be as dominant, and he didn't really carry them to their win like I thought he would. So he has dropped down to 3 for me. That being said, still an amazing year. Yeah.
Okay.
Your number 3?
Now this is in order?
Yes. So 3, 2, 1 for each of us.
Okay.
1 being who should win.
Okay. Then I think statistically speaking, Kirk Cousins is my number 3. I don't think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. But when I looked at his numbers earlier today, he absolutely should be one of the main guys in consideration for MVP. His touchdown to interception ratio is phenomenal. One of the top guys in the league in yards. And then when you look at his team record and team success, it kind of all mixes together, and it all makes sense to me. I mean, it's weird to say, but Kirk Cousins right now, I think should be. Also, his completion percentage, one of the tops in the league. He's having a very good year.
Since his receivers called him out, I believe week 4 when they were 2-2, he actually, statistically has been number 1 in QBR, I want to say, in that time span. Easily top 3, and that's where he's really built his trunk of his MVP.
I mean, look up his numbers if you don't believe me, because I didn't even believe it until I looked at it myself. But, I mean, this man is having a fantastic season.
Yeah, to hear Kirk Cousins' name as MVP is kind of makes us laugh at first until you look at the stats.
Yeah, for real.
So, number 2 in my mind is actually Christian McCaffrey. And yes, I know running backs rarely get the chance. Pretty much anybody except for QBs rarely get the chance to win MVP. I think he actually has a realistic shot of doing it, but in my mind, he deserves to be number 2 right now. We haven't seen a running back win MVP since Adrian Peterson back in 2008. We haven't seen anybody but a quarterback, I believe, win it since that time. Aaron Donald probably came the closest of anybody last year at defensive end. However, Cam Newton went down early on in this season, and Kyle Allen hasn't been bad for that team, but Christian McCaffrey accounts for at least 40% of that team's offense. He is a machine. He is better than I thought he would be this year, and he is the reason that team is still winning. So to me, when you look at most valuable player, that means who is most valuable to your team winning. And this year, that has been Christian McCaffrey for the Carolina Panthers, without a doubt.
Okay. My number 2 is Lamar Jackson. I don't really think I need to explain why. You've all seen him play. I mean, the man probably has... I think he has the most rushing yards of any quarterback through this many weeks in a season ever in history. Ever.
It's up there, yeah.
Something like that. And everybody said, oh, well, he can't pass. He's proven he can pass. His touchdown to interception numbers, very solid. Not one of the best in the league, but very solid. He has a good amount of yards, too. I mean, and you just look at that whole offense, really. It runs through him, and it's one of the best offenses in the NFL. Maybe the best. Maybe. One of the best for sure.
Statistically, they have the most drives that end in a score.
They score a lot of points, and it all runs through Lamar. He gets that offense moving down the field. Ravens, one of the best teams in the AFC. I think they have a shot of winning the AFC and representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, even. Like a legitimate, realistic shot. It's either them or the Pats. We all know that. I think they have a legitimate chance to beat the Pats. It's all because of Lamar.
Yeah. And for that reason, he's my number 1 candidate to win MVP at this time. The past 3 weeks really have jumped him ahead. The Ravens didn't have the toughest schedule through, I think, the first 7 weeks. So I was skeptical to put him up there, even though he came out strong. He is, I think, if I saw this correctly, which surprised me, the first QB to ever have a perfect QBR in multiple games in a single season.
Wow.
So it surprised me actually that no QB has done that before, considering you play 16. Still, obviously, such a fantastic thing to accomplish. And for the sole fact, as you touched on greatly, that offense runs through him. This Ravens team did well last year, but it really just goes to show, after all the years where they had a great defense and a solid offense with Joe Flacco there, and they had nowhere near the success that they're having right now with Lamar in his first full season. He has come out as a front runner to me. All around, he is the reason the Ravens are winning games, and he really jumped into first for me the night that he beat the Patriots, because that defense was impressive, and the fact that he pulled out a win there, home turf or away, is very impressive.
I agree. My number one is Christian McCaffrey. You touched on a lot of it. The man already has over 1,100 rushing yards. He has 11 rushing touchdowns. I don't know if you can read this. This says week 11. We haven't even played 11 games. The man has 11 rushing touchdowns already on the season. I'm pretty sure they had their bye thrown into there as well.
My correction, we're going into week 12.
We're going into week 12.
So he has played 10 games.
He's played 10 games. He has 11
weeks.
rushing touchdowns. He also has over 500 receiving yards already. He could very well hit 1,000 receiving yards and over 1,500 rushing yards this year easily. 3 receiving touchdowns. As you mentioned, when Cam went down, the whole offense is run through him. And this is all contingent, I think, him winning this award if the Panthers can make the playoffs, which they have a chance to do. I think if they don't make the playoffs, the voters are not going to give him this award. I think if they do, I think he will win it. And I think he deserves it no matter what, because I cannot remember the last time I have seen a short white running back play this well ever in my life. I don't know if I'll ever see it again. And in a year that we've mentioned there's a lot of quarterbacks you can make an argument for, why not just go with the only running back you can make an argument for?
Right.
Christian McCaffrey.
And that goes in. Christian McCaffrey, we talked about it in many different ways. He is having statistically the most dominant season of a running back, basically going back to when Adrian Peterson did it in the year he won his MVP. Mm-hmm. He is on pace to roughly match those numbers almost in the rushing game, along with his receiving yards all around. If Adrian Peterson deserved to do it then, I didn't go back and look who the QBs that year did, but what they did and why AP won. But if AP won it then with those numbers, if McCaffrey tops that, I don't see why he shouldn't win.
I agree.
But ultimately, it is most valuable player, and I think if the Ravens end up having 3 losses and the Panthers miss playoffs, it will go to Lamar.
Which is really stupid. It's most valuable player, not...
I'm okay with, at the moment, either of them taking it, because I think Lamar has been the most valuable player.
Yes, but if it comes down to because of their team's success, I don't think that's right.
So...
for any sport. And we see this happen in every sport. It rides a lot on the team's success as well, which is not what the award's about. It's an individual award. But I'm not going to get into all that.
Right. So, with that, clearly here at Top Chatter, Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey, the front runners from our staff to win the MVP. And we'll see how it actually turns out.
Yeah.
Only 6 games left for each team. It'll be exciting. 5 for some. So, yeah. Enjoy some football this week. We'll be back next week. We will have our video released on Wednesday, since Thanksgiving Day games start around noon or 1.
Turkey Day, yep.
We want to get out before all those games. You guys can see our picks, and hopefully we help you out with yours.
Yeah, and let us know down below, right down there, who your MVP is and why. Yeah. And we will see you. I'll see you on Tuesday for NBA.
Thanks, guys.